This isn't Salem. In fact, none of this is real. What you're seeing is a ghost town that was never actually alive. It was a multi-million-dollar TV set, built to look like 1692, and then just left to rot deep in the woods of Louisiana. But here's where it gets weird. Locals and explorers who've been brave enough to come out here swear that the dark history this place was built on has seeped into the ground, into the very fake foundations of this town. They say the echoes of the Salem Witch Trials are trapped here. So, tonight, I'm here to find out for myself. Can a place that was built for a story end up creating its own real ghosts? To really get what this place is about, you have to understand the two histories that haunt it. The first one is the story of a TV show. From 2014 to 2017, this was the massive, immersive world of the series Salem. They built a whole village out here, over 20 buildings, including a church, a tavern, even a brothel, all of it designed to pull you back into the 17th century. For 3 seasons, actors walked these streets, they performed fictional rituals, and they told a story of witches and Puritans. Then, in 2017, the show got canceled. The crews packed up, the cameras stopped rolling, and the whole town was abandoned to the forest. Now, what was once a pristine TV set is a ghost town of a ghost town, its plaster walls and wooden fronts slowly being swallowed by nature. But the second history, that one's much older and much, much darker. The show was based on the terrifyingly real Salem Witch Trials of 1692. It was a moment of total mass hysteria when fear, religious panic, and paranoia created this perfect storm of injustice. It all started with a few young girls in Reverend Samuel Parris's house who started having these bizarre, violent fits. When they were pressured to name who was tormenting them, they pointed fingers, accusing people in the community of witchcraft. And from there, it just exploded. A wave of accusations tore through Salem and the towns around it. More than 200 people were accused of being witches. 19 were dragged to Gallows Hill and hanged. At least 5 others died in the miserable, filthy jails. And one man, an 81-year-old farmer named Giles Corey, was crushed to death with heavy stones because he refused to even enter a plea. That's the energy, the real-world history they tried to capture on this set. The creators wanted the look of 1692, but a lot of people who come here now think they captured something else. The echoes of all that pain and tragedy from over 300 years ago. Before the sun sets, I want to get the lay of the land and just show you how incredibly detailed this place is and how fast it's all falling apart. Seeing it in pictures is one thing, but walking these streets, that's something else entirely. This main road, which is now just overgrown with weeds, leads you right to the town square, and right over there, you can see the gallows. In the show, this was the grim centerpiece of the town, this constant reminder of the justice being handed out. It is genuinely chilling to stand here, even with the sun out, knowing all the fake executions and humiliations they staged on this exact spot. This big, imposing building with all the peaks on the roof was the Sibley House in the show. Its design was a nod to the famous House of the Seven Gables in the real Salem. But out here, it's just an empty shell. You can look right through the windows and see there's nothing inside. It's a facade, built for the camera. And that's the trick of this whole place. It's an illusion. The walls look like heavy old stone. But if you touch them, you see they're just plaster and paint over a metal frame. The wood looks like it's been here for centuries, but it's just been treated to look that way. Over here is the church. The steeple is still pointing to the sky, but the little prop cemetery next to it is a total wreck. The fake tombstones are all broken and scattered. Next to it is the old jail, with the cells where actors playing accused witches would wait for their fate. Other explorers who've been here talk about getting strange feelings right in these spots. Sudden cold spots, the feeling of being watched, or hearing whispers that have no source. It's easy to write it off as just wind whistling through the rotting buildings, but it is so hard to shake the feeling that the stories they told here have stained the air itself. Every collapsing roof feels less like simple decay and more like a story that's being erased. It's about to get dark, and that's when people say things get really active out here. The temperature is already dropping, and the silence of the woods is starting to feel less like peace and quiet and more watchful. If you're someone who believes that places can hold on to energy, then you know this next part is why we came. And if you're new and want to come along on more explorations into forgotten and haunted places like this, go ahead and subscribe. It tells me you want more, and it makes sure you won't miss whatever happens next. All right, the sun is down, and the entire personality of this place has changed. Every little sound is 10 times louder. The snap of a twig back in the woods, the creak of a loose door swinging in the wind. It all sounds intentional. I'm starting out in the middle of town, right by the gallows. This was a place of judgment and death in the show, and it's where most people say they feel the most uneasy. The air right here just feels heavy. It's hard to explain. It's a kind of quiet that feels like it's pressing in on you. I've got an EMF meter. Now, I don't use these as definitive proof of anything, but sometimes they can pick up on changes in the environment that we can't see or feel. For now, it's totally quiet. I'm going to head over to that row of houses where the main characters supposedly lived. The doors are all ripped off or just hanging open like these big dark mouths. The blackness inside is absolute. This is exactly where that line between a TV set and a real haunted place gets blurry. Your brain knows none of it was real, but it starts playing tricks on you. You start picturing the dramatic scenes they filmed here, and you can't help but feel this phantom sense of history. Wait, there was a sound, a faint scraping noise. It came from inside that house, the one they used as the town tavern. It's probably just an animal or the building groaning. But when it's this quiet, it's enough to set you on edge. I'm going to go check it out. The floors in here are really soft from rot. You have to watch every single step. The main room is just a huge empty space filled with junk and debris. It's so strange to think that this room was once buzzing with life, packed with actors and a film crew. And now, it's just empty. The feeling in here is different though. It's colder. I'm going to ask a question. Is there anyone here with me? Can you make a sound or do something to let me know you're here? Silence. And that's usually what you get. But it's the waiting, the listening. That's the real experience. You're tuned in with every fiber of your being, straining to hear a whisper that might not ever come. I'm going to make my way to the old church. That's another hot spot people talk about. The irony of putting a holy place in a town built for a story about witches. gives it this really charged feeling. I'm standing in front of the church now. The doors were blown off their hinges a long time ago. Walking inside almost feels wrong, like I'm trespassing, even though there's nothing left to disrespect. The pews are gone, the altar's gone. It's just a hollowed-out shell. But this is the place I've felt the most drawn to all night. Whoa, what was that? My flashlight just flickered. Could just be the battery, but I put a fresh one in right before I started. And it did it again. Now the EMF meter is starting to go off. It's not a huge spike, just a steady low hum that definitely wasn't there a minute ago. If there's a spirit here, if any of the stories are true, can you give me a sign? I'm just going to be quiet. Let's just listen. Did you hear that? It sounded like a whisper. I couldn't make out any words. It was high-pitched, almost like the wind, but the air is dead still. It came from the back of the church. I honestly can't explain that. The logical part of my brain is scrambling to find a reason. An animal, a piece of loose metal catching the breeze. But my senses, the feeling of the hair standing up on my arms, they're telling me a different story. It feels like this place, this fake, empty town, has actually absorbed the emotional weight of the story it was built to tell. I came here tonight, wondering if an abandoned witch town could still cast spells. And after walking these rotting streets, after standing in the dark and just listening, I don't have a simple yes or no. I didn't see a full-on ghost. I didn't capture some smoking gun of the paranormal. But what I did experience is the incredible power of a story. This town was made to tell a story of tragedy and fear from 1692. But now, in its own death and decay, it's telling a new one. A story about how places can hold on to energy, how fiction and reality can bleed into each other, and how the echo of a great tragedy can ripple for centuries, even in a town that never truly existed. So the real question isn't just, is this place haunted? It's whether a story, if it's told with enough passion, can end up leaving its own ghost behind. What do you think? Subscribe for more terrifying explorations.